heroes, and of course Lisa and David and Christina and everybody. That's the first time anyone's ever said that to me. I appreciate that, actually. Yeah, I'll speak louder. I'm happy to speak louder. You know, over the last, let's see, 15 years, through grassroots organizing, through litigation, through the work of farmers, we have stopped genetically engineered tomatoes. Mike Campbell was going to use them. We put out an advertisement against Campbell saying, dead. It worked. Love it. They said no. McDonald's was going to use genetically engineered BT potatoes. We went to McDonald's campus, which is a surreal experience. But we succeeded. They said no. So we stopped genetically engineered tomatoes, genetically engineered potatoes, genetically engineered wheat. Imagine if all of your wheat products out there were genetically engineered. Genetically engineered rice. We stopped genetically engineered biopharmaceuticals. This is this bizarre idea of taking vaccines, big vaccines, AIDS vaccines, and putting them in corn and soy. Monsanto invested literally the farm in that, in the last 20% of their employment when we beat that. All right. We stopped genetically engineered alfalfa for 6 years, and I am back in court on October 24th. You're welcome to join us here in San Francisco, in front of the Circuit Court to stop it again, as we will be to stop sugar beets on the same day. All right? We've stopped genetically engineered salmon through grassroots action, so many great groups. Still hasn't been approved. It's supposed to have been approved 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Not there. And the flagship product. What was the flagship product of Monsanto? Anybody know? Bovine?
AstroTurf.
Grove? What happened to that? Well, because of the work of amazing grassroots organizers around the country, we were able to get labeling on BGH, illegal volunteer labeling on BGH. Monsanto went to 14 different states to say that labeling is illegal. We beat them in every state except Ohio. We had to go to the Circuit Court and beat them in the Circuit Court. Once labeling happened, Monsanto sold BGH. So go through that. Potatoes. Well, to Eli Lilly, but they're not even using it now because it's labeling. Labeling kills it. So look, tomatoes, potatoes, wheat, rice, bent grass, biopharmaceuticals, alfalfa, hopefully sugar beets. Don't tell me you can't beat Monsanto. We're going to do it one more time. One more time, this time with feeling. So why, people say they want to stop our right to know, right? Monsanto wants to stop our right to, why does Monsanto? I mean, they're just bad people. Okay, I get that, okay. But besides the fact that they just have, psychotherapy problems. Why does Monsanto want to, I'll tell you why right now. The dirty little secret of biotechnology. For 30 years, untold billions of dollars in private and our taxpayer monies have gone into this. They have failed to produce one trait that benefits the public, the consumer. Not one. Not better taste, not lower cost, less calories, better shelf life, you name it. They haven't been able to do more nutrition, nothing. Zero, zip, nada. All they have been able to do is create more risky foods. Well, think about the market. Why would any rational consumer say, here is a GMO product, a non-GMO product, side by side, same cost? Why in the world would I buy the one that offers me no benefits and only risks? Labeling advertises their colossal failure, their spectacular failure after all these years and their supposed magic frickin' genetic engineering to produce one trait that anybody wants. Not a single human being gets up in the morning wanting to buy a genetically engineered food. No one on earth. That's why they don't want labeling. It advertises their complete failure because all they offer is risk, and with some recent studies we know that's not necessarily inconsiderable risk, and no benefits. And there's one more reason they're afraid of labeling. Not just because it shows that it'll be the greatest failure in the history of modern agriculture. That's A. But B is liability. Right? If you have an infant who has a reaction to soy formula, and we know that the vast majority of GMO soy, as long as it's organic or non-GMO, is GMO, and that kid has a toxic reaction or an allergic reaction, Take a pediatrician. The pediatrician says, "Wow, exactly. Let's see, there's 50 other kids that are having the same thing in your area. Unless it's labeled, you don't know if it's GMO or not. You don't know the brand, you know what kind of GMO it was, right? But if it's labeled, they say, wow, all of these toxic reactions are happening from this particular soy formula, which is genetically engineered. Traceability. It allows health professionals to trace toxicity or allergenicity and say it's this product, it's this manufacturer, it's this corporation, and then guess what you would do to that corporation? You would find a lawyer and sue them. So A, they don't want to advertise that their technology is going to have colossal failure for consumers, terrible failure. And B, labeling, if they don't have it, that means no traceability, no liability. That's why they're leaving all those millions. That's why they know they cannot survive in the marketplace. They know if you're given a choice, no rational consumer will buy their product, and though that technology will go down so fast you wouldn't believe it, as it has in Europe. Europe allows all the plant, almost virtually every crop we can plant in the United States can be planted in Europe. Did you know that? A lot of people think, hey, Europe doesn't allow planting. No, they do. Europe is pretty much as bad a rubber stamp as we are as far as new crops, but nobody grows them. Why?
Nobody will buy them.
Because nobody will buy them. That's exactly right. Because the labeling there, that's what they're so freaking afraid of. That's why they're spending all these money, because it exposes their failure and it exposes them to liability. That's what's behind all this money. Right? So you say, okay, Andy, so they're making money on this. Something must be successful. Okay, they're not offering this, and what are they offering? 85%, 80 to 85% of all the crops they plant in this country around the world are herbicide tolerant. They have been designed with an agrobacterium, which means you can spray all the herbicide you want on them. It doesn't just kill the, if you normally spray herbicide, it kills the crops and the weeds. Now, because of this little trick they got, it just kills the weeds and not the crops. Because of that, every year 115 more million pounds of herbicide are poured on American crops, exposing us, our families, and farm workers to that. 115 more million pounds. You know how much organic saves us each year in pesticides that are not used because of organic? About 40 million pounds. That means because of this technology, it completely wipes out the advantage that all of us who fought, and I have fought for so many years to have organic, it wipes out all the advantage of organic, plus 70 million more pounds each year of herbicides. If they add 2,4-D now, because they've created super weeds, right, 2,4-D crops and dicamba crops, we are in a chemical arms race where you're going to see, according to the University of Pennsylvania study, 800 million more pounds of Roundup, of 2,4-D, and dicamba on our food we're going to be exposed to in the next 7 years unless we stop it. And the way to stop it is labeling. We're going to try and stop it in courts. Don't get me wrong. You know I'll be there. We always are. But by labeling, as we see in Europe, and we see in Japan, and 61 other countries around the world that have mandatory labeling. 61. These corporations are labeling for them. Why don't they label for us?
Yeah.
They're labeling for them. Why don't they label for us?
Yeah.
Right? So that's what we're saying. So, and remember, all of you, and I was there. I helped write the first Organic Food Production Act with Senator Leahy's staff. I mean, I've devoted my life to organic and promoting organic. And now that we have a technology that's going to erase everything that we did and give us 800 million more pounds of 2,4-D, which is Agent Orange element, right? As we call them, Agent Orange crops, and dicamba, which is one of the most. The reason they don't use dicamba right now is the most damaging herbicides known to man. 800 million more pounds? Are you kidding me? Unless we have labeling to stop it, that's what we're looking at. A chemical arms race into the future, backwards into the future. So that's what's at stake here. The stakes here are enormous. The stakes here are enormous. So I working with Jim Wheaton, of course, and with Joe Sandlin, when we created this, we realized that, Mother Jones used to say, struggle lose, struggle lose, struggle win.
Yeah.
Struggle lose, struggle lose, struggle win. And I said to myself, looking back over 15 years, we've struggled one, and we can win again. We can win again. And I'm happy to see through RC4, people are getting the message, folks. RC4 in the last 10 days, we have raised $1.3 million more that were not there before through the Center for Food Safety Action Fund. We've raised $1.3 million, and we think it's a lot more. So we can do that. I know all of you don't have that ability. I appreciate that. But whoever does, now is the time. Now is the time. Right? Now is the time to organize. Now is the time to raise money. Because we haven't even been on television yet. Wait till we are. We're about to go on television. We're about to get on television, and then you're going to see those numbers go in the opposite direction as the truth will set us free.
Yay!
Thank you very much.